Hello, it's Josh here. In this video, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to become rich by shifting your consciousness. Now, when I say rich, I'm not just talking about financial abundance, but I'm talking about a sense of richness in every single area of your life. And so this could be in your career, in your business, with your money, but it could also be in your relationships, in your family. It could also just be in your own health and well-being to have a sense of richness in your life. Now, one of the things that we need to develop is a faith, a trust, and not just a belief, but a knowing that the things that we're working on are going to work out, right? We have to really know it. So it's not just a belief, it's not just trust, it's a real knowing, a real conviction, a real confidence. Now, I remember back when I started my business, right? I did not have the same level of conviction as I do now. Back when I started, I was riddled with, doubts, uncertainty, fear, frustration. Back in 2020 was when I first started the business, right? And when I first started it, I just knew that I didn't want to be doing what I was currently doing, right? I didn't want to live with this scarcity mindset. I didn't want to live a life where I wasn't really maintaining jobs or careers or relationships, because that was my reality back in 2020. I wasn't really good in relationships, right? I wasn't really good in career. I didn't have a business. I didn't have any path, and I was just kind of getting started. And because of that, I didn't have any proof that I could do it. And so when I started doing it, right, I had a lot of fear. I had a lot of uncertainty. I had a lot of doubt about my abilities to create what I wanted to create. So back then, I didn't have the conviction or the confidence that I do now. But the message that I want to get across to you guys today is really that this is the thing that we want to work on developing. If we want to develop this richness or this fullness in our life, it's really developing this conviction that it's going to work, right? Whatever it is that you're working on, you have to develop a knowing that it's going to work. So now I come into my relationship, right, with my wife and with my family with a knowing that it's going to work. And I believe a part of that is because I'm committed to my family, right? I'm committed to my wife. I'm committed to, being a dad. And that commitment helps me to develop conviction, confidence. And the same thing is true for the business, right? In the beginning, I didn't really know what I was doing. There was a lot of uncertainty. But over the years, I've developed a conviction and a certain level of confidence that just says it's going to work. Like I know it's going to work, right? And so I want to share with you a story from 2022, right? Because in 2022, so just a couple of years ago, this is when I first met my wife, right? And when I first we got pregnant, and our daughter was born in November. During that period of the pregnancy, I remember, I'll never forget, I was going through some of my own personal issues, right? Around frustration, right? Around money. I'm the sole income provider in our household. My wife's a stay-at-home mum. And I'll never forget the shift in consciousness that I had to go through. Because before that, right, I wasn't used to being committed. I wasn't used to providing for, multiple people. And I had this very, limited mindset, right, about my own capabilities and, what I was going to be able to do. And I had to really go through a shift in consciousness to move from that, from that version of myself who wasn't committed, who wasn't confident, who didn't have this level of like knowing and trust and faith, to a version of myself that did have that. And I remember what came up for me as I was moving through this personal journey was a lot of my own trauma from earlier in my life. Right. I remember having conversations with my wife where, we would be in this kind of arguments around money, right? Because I was operating from this lack and scarcity mindset where I feel like, oh, we don't have enough money. I don't know if we can do this. Or you need to stop spending money. When she would spend money, I would get frustrated. And what I had to do was take responsibility for that, because I realized that's actually my shit. If I'm getting frustrated, if I'm getting resentful, that's something that I need to work on. And at the time, I was projecting it onto her. So when I started to do some work on myself, I realized that all of that fear, that lack, that scarcity was coming from a sense of not feeling good enough, not feeling like I had enough, really a lack of trust, a lack of belief, a lack of knowing that I had the skills necessary, but also just a lack of like feeling enough. And this was the shift in consciousness, right? Because I went from not feeling good enough, not feeling like I have enough, and I did some work on myself. I did some deep work, to now on the other side of that, feeling like I have enough, I am enough. And I can't explain to you how powerful that shift is, right? Going from I'm not sure if it's going to work out, what if it doesn't work out, right? And living in that fear and that anxiety, that it was like a stress, like a constant stress around money, a feeling of lack, a feeling of scarcity around money. What if it doesn't work out? What if we don't have enough money? What if this? What if that? Right? To then going into a state of consciousness or a state of being where now I always feel like we have enough. I know that I am enough. I have full conviction and confidence in my ability to create, stability for us. And this is the kind of energy that I got from Dubai. I was just in Dubai last week, so some of you may have seen that. And the energy over there, it wasn't like, what if it doesn't work out, right? It wasn't like, oh, we don't have enough, right? It was like, there is plenty to go around, right? And whatever it is that we want to do, we can do it. Like, that's the energy. There was not even an ounce of doubt that they would be able to create those incredible things that they created, like the Burj Khalifa, like that, the world's tallest building. Like, it's crazy. I remember being at the Dubai Mall and just scanning my phone, like just kind of getting a panorama of the area, and it kind of panorama, and I'm going across and I'm panning and I'm panning and I'm panning, and then you get to the Burj Khalifa, and then you have to go like this, and you have to like look up, because you'll see all of the tops of the hotels, right, or the buildings. You can see that in the pan. And then I got to the Burj, and it gets cut off like here, and I had to like go like that, like really like look up, and it's just because it just goes so high into the sky. It's crazy. And just other little things that were over there. Like, there's this Dubai Mall, right? Inside the mall, there is like a huge 2-story aquarium. And I'm talking like not just a little aquarium, but like a massive 2-story aquarium just in the middle of the shopping center, where there was like sharks, turtles, stingrays, scuba divers. Like, there was people in there. It's like 3 or 4 people in there, multiple sharks, like, countless fish, just like a huge aquarium in the middle of the mall. There was not one Rolex store, but 3 Rolex stores in this Dubai Mall. I remember I just walked around because I was interested to, get a feel for the place. And I ended up getting lost because it's actually just so big. And I vividly remember walking past not one, but 3 different Rolex stores in different locations in that one mall. And I was like, wow, like, why do they need 3? But that's just a testament to the kind of energy that there is over there, right? It's just total abundance, total opulence. Like, there is no sense of lack or scarcity. Another thing is, when you walk around the streets, it's totally clean. Like, it's super clean. All of the service and hospitality is very high quality. The service is great. The people are great. The cleanliness is great. The quality of the food is great. Like, it was just incredible to me. I came back to Australia and I thought Australia is pretty clean, and we're pretty good here in Australia. But I came back to Australia from Dubai thinking Australia is dirty, right? Like, I remember being at the airport in Brisbane, flying back in and walking outside, and there was rubbish like on the ground out where the airport taxis, services and stuff are. And in Dubai, there was no rubbish anywhere. But I got back to Australia, and there's rubbish everywhere. And I'm just like, wow, I thought Australia was pretty switched on, but this is just showing me that Australia is dirty compared to it over there. So anyway, I'm losing my my track here. But the point is, right, there is a world that exists where there is just total abundance. And really, what I think it is, it's an energetic thing. It's a certain way of thinking and seeing the world. It's a certain level of consciousness. And so we can attune ourselves to that, right? You can do it by doing what I did and going and spending time in a place like that. And when you spend time in a place like that, around people like that, you kind of just naturally attune yourself to that resonance or that vibration or that frequency, right? That level of consciousness. Like I said, I came back here and it was like there was a mismatch, right? Where I was like, oh wow, I'm back in Australia. It looks dirty here, right? So you can do that. But otherwise, you can also just really be intentional with moving yourself into the state of consciousness, right? Now, the ways that you can do that are through things like meditation, keeping a calm mind, right? Journaling, getting very clear on what it is that you want. And also three, work, right? Now, I don't want to say that you need to be only working, right? You need to just work hard and get that, because I don't believe that's the case. I believe it starts with your mindset, right? And also your emotional regulation. When we're in Dubai at the mastermind, I'm hanging around with business owners, right? People, earning anywhere from, multi six figures to seven figures to multi seven figures, right? So there was a few millionaires in the room, and most of the conversation was around the inner game, right? So your inner game is your emotions and your beliefs. So your emotions and your beliefs, and all of these, the sheikhs and stuff that are building these massive cities in the Middle East, like they just operating from a certain level of consciousness where it's I have enough, right? I have enough. I am enough. We can do this. It's going to work out. Right? You can train yourself into that by learning how to change your beliefs and also regulate your emotions, right? So the inner game is so important. And that's one of that we've probably spent 80% of the time at this Dubai intensive talking about the inner game, 80% of the time talking about beliefs and emotions, right? Now, the third part is there is work, right? So we did spend about 20% of the time talking about work, strategies, skill sets, all that kind of stuff. There's the skills that you need to learn, right? So there's skills that you need to learn, but there's also new beliefs that you need to embody. And there's also, you need to learn how to manage your emotions, right? To stay emotionally regulated. Another thing that you can do to shift your consciousness is actually to move yourself around people and places that are in alignment with what you want. They say that you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around. I really believe that more and more as I move through my own business journey and my own self-development journey. I really believe you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around. Before I started my business, I hang around with people who, really settled for less, right? Where they're drinking, doing drugs, and just kind of getting by, working their jobs and just accepting their lot in life. And it was almost like this victim mentality. Well, this is just where we are right now. This is all we can do about it, right? Now, I've actually left those groups of friends and I have new friends now that are a little bit more progressive, you could say, right? A little bit more focused on, okay, well, let's earn some money. Let's invest our money wisely. Let's take care of our health. Let's focus on our relationships, right? Let's have, families. Those are the kinds of people that I hang around now, right? They've got kids or they want kids. They're focused on family. They're healthy. They're not drinking or doing drugs, right? I actually feel bad sometimes because I usually drink like at least a couple of coffees a day. Sometimes I go have a coffee with these guys. They only have 1 coffee a day. That's their limit. And so when I have 2, I feel this like they're like almost judging me a little bit. I know they're not, but that's the fear. There's a high standard, right? They don't want to be drinking too much caffeine because they just have standards for their health and well-being, right? And same with money, right? They're always talking about investments. They're always talking about money. So you become the average of the 5 people that you hang around. So it's really about doing some self-reflection and asking yourself, like, firstly, who am I hanging around? What am I believing, right? What emotions am I occupying mostly? Am I occupying frustration and fear and lack and scarcity like I was back at the start of my business in 2020, 2022, right? Or am I constantly working on installing new beliefs, upgrading my belief systems, right? Am I focused on managing my emotions, right? Maintaining a sense of emotional regulation, right? Quiet mind, calm heart, maintaining a good energy, right? And then am I surrounding myself with the people and places that I need to be around? Those are some ways that you can shift your consciousness, right? Beliefs, emotions, environment. So you can be by yourself and shift your consciousness, right? Which is like working on your beliefs and your emotions. And you can do that and it's fine. However, the world is all energy, right? So when you're by yourself and you work on your beliefs and emotions, you shift your energy, right? You shift your consciousness, you shift your energy. You move into a state of like gratitude or acceptance of what is, right? And you install new beliefs. So a big part of that is identifying old beliefs, right? Identifying like what beliefs have I currently got about money, about family, about relationships, about health that are not serving me. Like you can write this down, right now. What beliefs have I got in these different areas of my life that are not serving me? What beliefs do I have about money? Write them down. Like just write what beliefs you have about money, write them down. What beliefs do I have about my health and well-being? Write them down. What beliefs do I have about relationships? Write them down. What beliefs do I have about family? Write them down. And what you can also do is you could make columns. You could have positive and negative. Write down all the positive beliefs you have about money, relationships, health, and well-being. And then on the negative side, write down all of the negative beliefs you have about money, relationships, health. And you'll start to see where the imbalances are pretty clearly. Once you've identified what your beliefs are, you can then get to work on changing them, right? And then if you coach with me, I teach you how to meditate, right? I really encourage people to meditate every single day. When you meditate, you control your mind. You learn how to control your mind, and you also learn how to regulate your emotions, right? With mindfulness, with presence, calm mind, calm heart. From there, you consciously create new beliefs, right? And then over time, you might just find yourself entering into new environments with new people. So there's an aspect of letting go, right? If you know that there's certain parts of your life that are really just weighing you down, you can let go of them. Permission to let go, right? You don't need to feel guilty. I've been there before. You don't need to feel, like you're a bad person. Just focus on your health, your well-being, your relationships, right, that are healthy. Focus on generating enough money to be able to survive and to thrive even, right? And if you can do those things and put yourself in the right environment, you're going to shift your consciousness and you're going to live a richer life. Right? So when I started this video, I said, I want to help you shift your consciousness so you can live a rich life, right? And I'm not just talking about financial wealth, although that is one aspect of it, but it's richness in all of these different areas of your life. And I really believe it's about shifting your consciousness, right? Changing your energy, moving out of fear and lack of scarcity and frustration into a feeling of gratitude, appreciation, right? Calmness, being calm, right? One of the guys that was in Dubai, he's earning $500,000 a month, right? I'm just going to repeat that again. He's earning $500,000 a month in his business. That's about 6 million a year, right? He was constantly talking about things that make him feel calm. Like he mentioned it multiple times. Things that make him feel calm and things that he loves doing. Love and calm. Those are the two things that I really just stuck out for me. Every time he spoke, he's talking about, oh, I do this because I love this thing. And I do this because it makes me feel calm. So what can you start doing more of that makes you feel calm and that you actually love? Right? These guys, right, multimillionaire, talking about what makes him calm and what makes him feel love, right? Now, not all people who earn a lot of money are like that, right? Some people operate from stress. Some people operate from frustration. You can go and achieve lots and lots in your life. I've worked with lots of people who have a lot of money and have a lot of material wealth, but internally they're just stressed and frustrated and they're just pushing hard, right? Constantly unhappy, right? They've got all this stuff, but they're constantly unhappy. So are they rich, right? Maybe they're materially rich, but internally they're not feeling rich, right? And so it's not about what you have outside, it's about what you feel inside, right? Two people, so there could be someone who has, let's just say 50,000 in the bank and someone who has 5 million. If the person who has 50,000 in the bank is calm and loves their life and loves what they're doing, but then the person who has 5 million in the bank is constantly stressed, constantly frustrated, constantly feeling like he doesn't have enough, who's the richer one? I would argue it's the guy with $50,000 because he's living a rich life. He's calm. He's doing what he loves. He's got a bit of money in the bank, right? And he's feels safe. Whereas the other guy, it's like he's maybe, worked heaps, got lots of money in the bank, but he doesn't feel safe. He feels scared. He feels like stressed. He feels frustrated. Probably it's affecting his health. Probably it's affecting his relationships, right? And so who's the richer one? My encouragement for you from this video today is to really focus on developing that rich consciousness. And really it's about being calm, loving what you do, feeling this sense of happiness, gratitude, appreciation for what you've already got, whilst also working on whatever it is that you want to create, as opposed to just pushing constantly, forcing everything, feeling stressed out, feeling frustrated. So to summarize, we want to change beliefs, right? Identify positive and negative beliefs that you have about money, relationships, wealth, health. Identify what they are and then consciously change them, right? And then also work on regulating your emotions, right? Maintaining a nice, calm energy, a loving energy. And then from there, you can start to look, where do things maybe need to shift around in my environment, right? If you watch my my videos, you might have seen that you might have noticed that I've moved my office around. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't notice that, but I did. I moved my office around yesterday, right? Because I got back from Dubai and I thought I'm shifting my energy. I'm changing my energy, right? And so for me, sometimes that's just like rearranging my house, like rearranging my office. For me, it feels like a new energy. It feels good, right? So you can also ask yourself, like, where in your life do you maybe need to clean things up a little bit?
Yeah, that's good.
You can go and do that.
I just did exactly the same.
Yeah.
I just redid my whole office. It's a whole new look and feel. Looks incredible. New
Yeah,
energy.
amazing. What it's like to just shift a few things
Yeah.
around. It gives you a whole new energy, a whole new feeling.
I just got rid of bags and bags of stuff that I don't need.
Yeah, awesome.
That's good.